Welcome to Cinema Recaps. In this video, I am going to summarize a movie titled Thinner. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie begins and we see an obese upper-class lawyer, Billy Halleck. The arrogant lawyer resides in the suburban area of Castle Rock, New England. He is living with his beautiful wife Heidi and 14-year-old daughter Linda. Every morning, Billy measures his weight and reports it to Heidi, who is keeping track of his weight loss. She also makes diet plan for him. However, Billy hates healthy food. He is fond of eating junk. In the following scene, Billy is seen inside the court, defending an underground mafia don, named Richie Gilleni aka The Hammer. After a deep thorough study of the case, Billy finds a loophole, using which he succeeds in freeing Ganelli. After winning the case, jubilant Ganelli invites Billy to his luxurious yacht for a feast. He tells Billy that he owes him big time. Later, while returning to his office, Billy notices a group of gypsies trying to conduct a fair nearby his office. When he gets there to inspect, he notices Judge Carey and Police Chief Duncan, both watching the gypsies creating a mess on the street. Soon after, Duncan succeeds sending the group away. Just then, Billy gets smitten by one of the gypsies named Gina. The same night Billy attends a restaurant party with Heidi. Before he makes himself uncomfortable with overeating, Heidi suggests to end the party, to which Billy agrees reluctantly. While on their way back home, Heidi tries to relax Billy's mood by pleasuring him while he's driving the car. Suddenly, an old gypsy lady Suzanne Lemke walks out of a pharmacy store and start crossing the road. Billy, completely distracted by Heidi, runs over kills her on the spot. In the following scene, in the court hearing, pharmacy owner reveals that Suzanne was actually running after stealing some items from the pharmacy. Duncan also speaks in favor of Billy, stating that he was driving within limits and was not drunk either. With all the points in favor of Billy, Judge Carey declares the death an accident. Declared innocent, Billy with his wife Heidi walk out of the courtroom relieved. Strangely, when Billy tries to get inside his car, an elderly gypsy man Tadze Lemke, the father of Suzanne, walks towards him. Tadze runs his finger on Billy's cheeks, calling him thinner, and instantly drive away, leaving Billy confused about what just happened. However, he doesn't think much of it and proceeds. The day, when Billy checks his weight, he's surprised to find that he lost 14 pounds. He immediately tells Heidi about it. But Heidi gets confused as Billy never even bothered to follow her diet plan. Billy says that he has his own way of losing weight by eating more and more. Afterwards, Billy goes to join Carey, Dr. Mike and his boss Kirk on a golf course. After the session, Carey shows Mike an infection on his chest. After a closer look, Mike concludes that it's just a normal infection. Later, Billy thanks Carey for assisting him in accident case. Carey then reveals that he and his wife went out for dinner after the case, where a strange old man approached him and touched his chest. He shows Billy his chest with some infection marks on it. Immediately, Billy remembers Tadze touching his cheeks and asks Carey if the old man said anything while touching his chest. Carey says he didn't listen to the old man and simply walked away. Heidi is worried about Billy losing weight at an alarming rate. As she gets to know, he lost nearly 40 pounds in just 2 weeks. Heidi thinks it could be a sign of cancer. Thus, she suggests to see a doctor. On this, Billy gets angry at Heidi, thinking that she's never satisfied with him, not even when he's losing weight as she wished. However, moments later Billy shows up at Dr. Mike's clinic, who after taking a closer look at Billy's health report, declares that he is totally fine. Delighted on his physical progress, Billy goes to a garment shop and buys himself a pair of nice suits. The owner, a heavy man himself, while measuring Billy's weight gets shocked on his exceptional weight loss. The next day, while Billy is having meal at a restaurant, Mike approaches him and suggests him another clinic for thorough examination. He also mentions that Heidi is extremely worried about him, thus he should do this for her. Meanwhile, Billy notices Carey's wife Leda having her dinner alone on another table. On inquiring, Mike tells him that Carey has gone out of town to visit his sick sister. Billy gets suspicious as he knows that Carey doesn't have any sister. Therefore, Billy decides to visit Carey's home. In the next scene, Billy arrives at Carey's house, where he's greeted by Leda. Billy asks about Carey. Leda tells him that he's out of town and tries to close the door. Meanwhile, Billy asks her if Carey has lost any weight. Hearing this, Leda opens the door and asks Billy if he also got cursed by the gypsy. And while offering him a drink, she asks him to come inside. Then she reveals that Carey was cursed by the old gypsy, who touched him on his chest and said the word lizard. She tells that soon after the touch, Carey's skin started turning into scales like a lizard and he gradually transformed into a half-human lizard creature. She blames Billy for all this, as he was the one who killed the gypsy lady. Same night, Billy calls Ganelli from a phone booth, and ask him if his mother knows anything about the gypsy curse. Ganelli's mother tell him that the only way to reverse their curse is to please them. She also states that only the one who gave the curse has the authority to reverse it. After the phone call, Heidi approaches Billy to drive him home. While on their way, Billy tells her about the curse, but Heidi doesn't buy it. Instead, she suggests him to visit a clinic. Next day, Billy visits the best clinic in town, where he tells the doctors about his condition in detail. The doctors examine him, but fail to find any irregularities in his body yet again. Thereafter, Billy visits Chief Officer Duncan. As he enters his house, he's taken aback to find Duncan terribly suffering from a skin problem, with acne all over his face. Duncan reveals that he too got cursed by the old gypsy and suggests Billy find him and kill him. Billy gets scared and runs out of the house. And sadly, as he walks a bit, hears a gunshot from Duncan's house, indicating that Duncan has taken his own life. As a distraught Billy returns home, he notices Mike leaving his house. This makes him suspect that his wife Heidi is having an affair with Mike, but he decides to ignore the matter as he's got bigger problems to handle. He tells Heidi about Duncan and the gypsy curse, but she again refuses to believe him and suggests he seek a psychiatrist help. On this, Billy gets enraged, berates her and says he will find Tatsu by himself and get him reverse the curse. Next morning, Billy calls Carrie to ask for his help in finding Tatsu, but sadly he come to know that Carrie also ended his life the previous night. This panics and he starts searching for Tatsu around the town. He goes into a bar with Tatsu's picture and asks if someone knew him. Fortunately, one of the customers recognizes the gypsy and tells him about his location. In the next scene, Billy reaches the gypsy's location and calls out for Tatsu. As he spots Tatsu, he falls to his knees and begs him to reverse the curse. But Tatsu refuses to help and asks him to go away. Furious Billy raises his hand, claiming to curse Tatsu back. Meanwhile, Gina arrives there and accuses him of killing her mother. She then injures Billy's hand with a slingshot, forcing him to run away. Out of options, scared Billy goes to a hotel and calls Janelli for help. The gangster immediately sends a doctor to treat Billy's injury. Afterwards, Ganelli employs a guy to look for the gypsy on his behalf and asks him to keep an eye on them. He poisons the gypsy's camp dogs and leaves a message stating, "White man from town says take it off." But next day, the gypsies capture the perpetrator, kill him and put his body inside Billy's car. Their act enrages Janelli. He turns up the heat and stages a one-man assault on the camp. He uses a variety of automatic weapons and kills Gina's husband. Next morning, Ganelli reaches the camp dressed as Agent Stoner from the FBI. He lures Gina away from the group to a deserted barn and terrorizes her in an effort to convince Tatsu to release the curse from Billy. On her refusal, Ganelli is about to shoot Gina, but fortunately, Billy arrives and stops him from doing so. Before leaving, he threatens Gina to send her grandfather to meet them at the lighthouse within 2 hours. Certain that the only way to stop further attacks on his people is to break Billy's curse, Tatsu arrives at the lighthouse. He approaches Billy waiting for him and informs him that he cannot break the curse. The only way he can help him is to transfer the curse to another person. Thus, Tatsu starts the procedure. He stabs Billy's injured hand and mixes his blood in a strawberry pie that he had brought, and hands Billy the pie, telling him to make someone eat it so that the curse can be transferred. Billy brings the pie to his home. Since he suspects his wife of cheating, he leaves the pie in the kitchen anticipating she will eat it. As expected, Heidi goes to the kitchen and happily eats some of it. In the morning, Billy wakes up to discover Heidi's dried out dead body in the bed, lying next to him. Billy is pleased on getting rid of the curse and of his alleged unfaithful wife. But lo and behold, as he descends, he's shocked to see that his daughter Linda also had some of the pie in the breakfast. In the meantime, Billy learns from the news that Ganelli is found dead in New York City in suspicious circumstances, with his family members and friends all dead. Billy feels guilty for all this and decides to die with dignity. But as he tries to consume a piece of the pie, Dr. Mike knocks on the door. As Billy opens the door, Mike appears to be disappointed. This reinforces Billy's suspicion of Mike and Heidi having an affair. Thus, Billy invites Mike inside for a slice of the pie and slams the door with a smile. And the movie ends. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button. Also, let us know in the comment if you want us to summarize any of your favorite movie. Thanks for watching. Take care.